Hello, everyone, and welcome into episode number 2 of Ohio State Buckeyes, where we talk nothing but Ohio State sports. And of course, by the title of this one, we're going to recap last weekend's Purdue game. So, since we got a lot to cover, let's get right into it. Now, Ohio State went all the way out to West Lafayette, Indiana, to take on the pitiful Purdue Boilermakers and walked out with a major blowout win. And not only did they win in a blowout, they did so in dominant fashion, looking similar to your Michigan Wolverines. They won 41-7. Kyle McCord was 16 of 28 for 276 yards and 3 touchdowns. Dallin Hayden, the outstanding player of the game, had 11 carries for 76 yards and 1 touchdown. And he stood out to me and a lot of people in the sense that Dallin Hayden should be in the lineup more and get fed the ball more. Dallin Hayden looks like he could be not only a threat, but also a playmaker. Marvin Harrison Jr., he had 13 targets, 6 catches for 105 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, Cade Stover, if we're looking at the touchdown statistic by itself, was the most outstanding player. If we're looking at a full stat line, of course it belongs to Marvin Harrison Jr., but Cade Stover had 4 targets, 4 catches for 53 yards, touchdowns. And Ennis, wide receiver Ennis, was a standout over the weekend. He had 1 catch for 58 yards and a touchdown. He sliced and diced that defense on 1 catch. He broke some ankles. And if we look at the other side of the ball, the Ohio State defense got 4 sacks on Purdue. Now, if we look at Purdue and what Ohio State was able to do, how Ohio State was able to limit Purdue, Hudson Card was 13 of 32 for 126 and 1 touchdown, the only touchdown. And who caught that touchdown? Burks. He had 3 catches for 22 yards and a touchdown. As far as the run game, we basically shut them down because Maccabee had 18 carries for 110 yards. Rice was the leading receiver on yards. He had 3 catches for 50 yards. And our offensive line held up very well against Purdue's defense because Purdue was only able to get 2 sacks on McCord. Now, I know it was a blowout, and I know people will accuse Ohio State of stat padding, but they didn't really stat pad. Not really. I mean, I didn't write it down, but Devin Brown got to play some, and they just got to a point where it was just focus heavy on the run. So if there is any stat pad, it's in the run game. Now, one of the big key things is going to be injuries, because Chip Trayanum, the Notre Dame hero, went down with an injury in this game, kind of early too. We knew coming in that Travion Henderson most likely wouldn't play due to an injury. Lo and behold, he did not play. No surprise there. And no surprise that we were able to do all this in the passing game without our number 2, Emeka Egbuka, which is fine. I mean, I'd love to see Emeka out there catching passes and getting his stats up, but it was okay because enough people showed out at the wide receiver position. We showed that we still have depth at receiver, that we don't just need to rely on Marvin Harrison and Emeka. And that when we have those times come where we will need to move on from them, we showed that we're going to be okay because of the people we have in that wide receiver room working with Brian Hartline. I thought overall that Ohio State played a very good, very well-rounded game, and I look forward to this week against Penn State. I know it'll be a tough test. It'll be our first tough test since Notre Dame. I know Maryland was kind of tough, at least for one half, but from opening kick to triple zeros, Penn State is going to be tough, because at some point I think that Penn State is going to get up on Ohio State, and Ohio State's going to have to dig down deep against an even better defense, because if you ask me, Penn State's defense is better than Notre Dame. They're going to have to dig down deep and beat a better defense than they've beaten already. So that should be interesting, and I do plan to go more in depth later in the week on that game specifically. So stay tuned right here to Buckeye Mike for more episodes on Ohio State and episodes coming out on other teams, as we try to cover more than just Ohio State or Michigan, even though they draw in the most views. We will see you in the next video. Don't forget to comment down below on your thoughts on this game and any suggestions on what you want me to cover in the future. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and go over and help out our good partners over there at Shady Sports, as we're about 30 subs away from 1,000 over there. So go over there and sub to them as well, and check out some of their awesome content. They got some good and great, just absolutely great people over there. So do Buckeye Mike a favor and don't forget to sub over there too. And have a good day. We'll see you in the next video, everybody.